what is the best way to structure my files and folders for team and personal assignments in this class? So this is an assignment, I think this was from lesson 2 that I have pulled up. So files for a folder or files for a project in and of itself, I recommend having a structure very similar to this. I have my app or server.js file here, which is the root of my application where I actually start listening on a port for my server. I have a README for other people to see, package JSON, node modules, things like that. But then I have all of my routes stored in one place, all of my logic for my different functions for my controller stored in one place. I have things related to my DB connection stored in one place. And this will grow. If I needed a constants folder for a bunch of constants that I'd have in my application, I'd make a constants folder. If I had additional middleware that I was going to be using, I would have a middleware folder. But this tends to be a really good structure overall for a single project. Now, if I have multiple projects, so I'm just going to say reveal in Finder. Here's this project. If I come out, notice that I have this CSE 341 folder. This CSE 341 folder is not a GitHub project. It isn't a project at all. I have a .env file right here because I use this in all of these little projects, but CSE 341 is not a GitHub repository. If I click on contacts, you can see there's front end and back end. And as soon as I open up one of these, then I see this Git folder for back end, and I see this Git folder for front end. Okay, so both of these are GitHub repositories. Both of these are code projects. If we look at CSE 341 code student, same thing. It's a GitHub repository or a Git repository, and it's an individual node project. And so I recommend kind of doing it like this. You just have a folder for all the code for this class, and you might end up with a half a dozen different projects in here by the end of the semester, because you're going to have the contacts project, you'll have another project of your choosing, you'll have your final project, you'll have random team activities like you have in week 2 that will require you to have a new node project to be used. And this is a good way to organize all of that.